Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Muslim that all well. And Shalom unto the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved under Brother Kalabana from the GMSU Kelowna Forecasters camp, coming back at you with another lesson to edify those of which I spoke of. So I've just read this news article from BBC News. It says Russia says 7 killed and 40 injured by Ukrainian drone hitting busy beach. So I've played this video here. So as you can see, the drone hit a busy beach where people were, I guess it's predominantly civilians, were just trying to enjoy a nice relaxing day in the sun. So it says, published August the 3rd, I think we're the 4th today, right? Yeah. It says a drone hit a busy beach in southern Russia, killing 7 people, including 3 children, local authorities have said. In social media footage verified by the BBC, a drone can be seen hurtling towards a cliffside before crashing into a fireball on the beach below as tourists looked on from the shore in the water. The total number of injured reached 40, with 17 people taken to hospital, said the governor of Krasnodar region, Veniamin Kondratyev. He accused Ukraine of a deliberate strike on civilians. Ukraine has not commented. Both sides deny targeting civilians deliberately. It is unclear what the drone was targeting. Some Ukrainian Telegram channels have claimed it crashed onto a beach as a result of an electronic warfare which jammed the drone's signal. Yeah, of course, everybody's going to try and deflect responsibility for this. And it's interesting because over here in the UK, Ukraine is always tried to be painted as the heroes of this war. You know, like the Russians are the big bad villain, and the Ukrainians are the ones that are, righteous and in standing up against Russia. That's the kind of narrative that the UK media has tried to present. So this is a real black eye to that narrative. Where was I? It's unclear what the drone was targeting. Forgive me. It's unclear what the drone was targeting. Some Ukrainian Telegram channels have claimed it crashed onto the beach as a result of electronic warfare, which jammed the drone's signal. Several eyewitnesses were quoted by Russian media as saying gunfire preceded the explosion, indicating that the air defenses may have tried to shoot the drone down. The crash occurred on a beach near the village of Archipel Ospovka in the Black Sea. With its warm climate, long beaches and developed tourist infrastructure, it is a popular holiday destination for Russians, in particular since sanctions have curtailed international travel for many. Tourists and residents of the Archipel Ospovka told local media authorities that no sirens sounded ahead of the drone attack. We covered ourselves with sun loungers and didn't see where it exploded, said one holidaymaker. Another person said that while they did not see the drone hit, they could hear the gunfire like a machine gun followed by an explosion. This all happened in front of my children. My child is having a nervous breakdown, said a third. Yeah, not pleasant. Not pleasant at all. Oh. It's quite a big explosion for a drone, isn't it? Those drones can do a hell of a lot of damage, man. So, over the course of last year, Ukraine has had increasing success carrying out long-range strikes deep into Russia hitting energy infrastructure and commercial warehouses, it says, are used for military purposes. On 7 occasions, these strikes have caused civilian deaths, with 8 people in different Russian cities killed at the weekend. Early on Tuesday, a warehouse facility was hit by drones near Russia's second biggest city, St. Petersburg, and regional governor Alexander Drozdenko said he did not provide the name of the facility. Russia, meanwhile, has launched attacks on residential areas and cities from the start of its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February of 2022, killing and injuring thousands of civilians. Yeah, see, they're trying to paint this as the Russians. Yeah, they done that, but the Russians done this, and they did worse. On Saturday, at least 9 people were killed and dozens injured in Russian ballistic missile strikes on Kiev, according to the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The city's mayor said a residential building in the Shevchenkivsky district was partially destroyed, trapping people inside. Last week, a strike on a building in Ukraine's Kryvyi area killed a family of 10. In recent weeks, Ukrainian strikes have in particular targeted warehouses belonging to Wildberries, a large online retailer dubbed the Russian Amazon. Latest strike hit a warehouse in the Vladimir region in east of Moscow overnight into Monday. Dozens of Wildberries warehouses dotted around Russia, many located thousands of kilometers from Ukraine's border, have now been hit. Kiev says Wildberry depots are used to supply the Russian military, which Moscow denies, yet the platform sold a variety of military-related goods, such as body armor until recently, alongside items with both civilian and drone production applications. So that's the end of the article. It's in the article. But what I want to get here is some precepts on war, because when we come into power, these nations are not going to learn anymore. Yeah, this is Isaiah chapter 2. Start from verse 1, because when we come into power, that's when all of this madness is going to be put to an end, and there'll be peace. This is Isaiah 2, verse 1. The word that Isaiah, son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. Now, the mountains represent governments. And the fact that the mountain of the Lord's house, which is Israel, shall be established in the top of the mountains means that we're going to be above all the governments of the other nation, governing them and ruling them. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. So if you can imagine, imagine there's a big sea where all the other rivers flow onto it, meaning that all those other smaller seas are giving their power unto all those other smaller rivers are giving their powers to the big sea. That's how it's going to be with our nation. We're going to represent that big sea where all the other nations are going to flow onto, meaning that they're going to give all the best of their goods unto us, and they're going to serve us. Verse 3, and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the Most High of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths, for out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, Now, a plowshare is a farming instrument, meaning that these nations they're not gonna learn of war anymore, because there's not gonna be no more nation versus nation, because it's gonna be folly. Because the ultimate nation, which is the nation of Israel, is gonna be above them all, and the mere thought of going to war with an Israelite is gonna be tantamount to an act of suicide. So these nations aren't gonna go to war anymore. We're gonna govern them, and they're gonna be obedient, and they're gonna learn peace. Right? Where was I? Verse 4. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Again, another instrument of war turned back into a farming agricultural instrument, a pruning hook. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. Our house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of the Lord Yahweh. Therefore, sorry, I didn't mean to read that part. That's the next verse. No, I meant to say, yeah, that's the point. When we come into rulership, these nations aren't going to be doing any drone strikes against civilians anymore. All this shit's going to be a thing of the past, you know? When it comes to disputes or disagreements, we're going to solve and settle them through wise, is the word diplomacy? Let's see. Wise counsel, I should say. Yeah, there we go. Diplomacy, the profession, activity, or skill of managing international relations, typically by a country's representatives aboard an extensive round of diplomacy in the Middle East. Definition 2, the art of dealing with people in a sensitive and tactful way. With perfect diplomacy, he divided his attention between Meryl and Athena. And Anthea, not Athena, Anthea. Yeah, we're going to be the ultimate executors of diplomacy among the nations, and they're not going to go to war anymore. You know, so when us, the Israelites, are back in our rulership under Yahushua and King David, and the kingdom of heaven is established on earth, the nations are not going to learn of war anymore. So it's actually in the nation's best interest to see Israel return to its position of dominance and rulership, because it's ultimately it will benefit these nations too, you know. But like a child that doesn't know how to take the medicine for its sickness because it tastes bitter, these nations are currently acting like that child, where they don't want to take the medicine even though it will make them better. They're actively fighting against it, but at the end of the day, the fight's got to be knocked out of them soon when Yahushua, our Lord and Savior, returns and puts them in their place. Yeah. So yeah, just a quick one through the Spirit. Lord willing, it's edifying. So with that, I want to once again give all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh. Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Hakwadash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of great millstone that rule well. And shalom unto the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and the rest of the elect are destined to be saved. And I'll catch you on the next one, Lord willing. Shalom for now.